In one of the most pathetic moments of the 2024 presidential campaign, JD Vance asked again and again and again about who won the 2020 election, refuses to answer, but also seems to say that it would be acceptable to throw out democracy because people weren't allowed to see Hunter Biden's penis on Twitter. I know it's completely nuts in every single way, but we're dealing with people who are cuckoo. Take a listen to this.
In the debate, you were asked to clarify if you believe Trump lost the 2020 election.
Right.
Do you believe he lost the 2020 election?
I think that Donald Trump and I have both raised a number of issues with the 2020 election, but we're focused on the future. I think there's an obsession here with focusing on 2020. I'm much more worried about what happened after
First non-answer.
2020, which is a wide open border, groceries that are unaffordable. And look,
Senator,
Lulu,
yes or no?
Okay.
Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Let me ask you a question. Is it okay that big technology companies censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, which independent analysis have said it cost Donald Trump millions of votes?
Senator Vance, I'm going to ask you again. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Did big technology companies censor a story that independent studies have suggested would have cost Trump millions of votes?
Senator
I think that's
Vance,
the question.
I'm going to ask you again. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020
And I've answered
election?
your question with another question. You answer my question and I'll answer yours.
I have asked.
Hilariously, it's like, okay, she's the journalist. He's the candidate. She asked a question and he says, well, I answered your question with another question. You answer mine and then I'll answer yours. But of course, she's the one supposed to be answering the questions. And also, why does she have to first answer? Why won't he answer first? And then maybe she'll answer the other question. This is not exactly a profile in courage.
This question repeatedly. It is something that is very important for the American people to know. There is no proof, legal or otherwise, that Donald Trump did not lose the 2020 election.
You're repeating a slogan rather than engaging with what I'm saying, which is that when our own technology firms engage in industrial scale censorship, by the way, backed up by the federal government in a way that independent studies suggest affect the votes, I'm worried about Americans who feel like there were problems in 2020. I'm not worried about this slogan that people throw. Well, every court case went this way. I'm talking about something very discrete. A problem of censorship in this country that I do think affected things in 2020, and more importantly, that led to Kamala Harris's governance, which has screwed this country up in a big way.
They insist that if more people were allowed to see sexually explicit images of Hunter Biden, including his, right, that they would have said, well, now I'm voting Trump. Now, they cite these polls that generically say from people after the fact, I would have voted differently had that story not been censored. But there are three critical things you have to understand about that. People's later retrospective assessment of what they would have done differently is not particularly accurate because they don't even remember how they were feeling or what they were thinking at that time. You might think you do, but our memory is not very good. Number two, implicit in all of this is that voting differently would have meant switching votes from Joe Biden to Donald Trump. That's also not a guarantee. And number three, they want to insist that it's not because of seeing Hunter Biden's penis that we would have voted differently. It's because the story would have exposed the Hunter Biden laptop story if it had been allowed on Twitter. If it didn't violate the terms and conditions on Twitter, it would have exposed Biden family corruption, the bribery scandal, et cetera. It didn't do anything of the sort. It simply did not do that. So on three levels, this refrain that they have about how if only that story hadn't been censored, Biden would have lost and Trump would have won, is predicated on false notions, lies, distortions, and on some core level, the belief that if more people saw the of Hunter Biden, they would have switched their vote from Biden to Trump, which is very stupid. Imagine being like, hey, you know what? Doug Emhoff has a strange looking penis. I'm voting for Trump right now. Like, imagine how stupid that would be. Now, I know many of you are probably saying, David, there's a lot of stupid voters out there. And I don't want to understate that. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. But this entire story is primarily pathetic because he simply won't answer whether Joe Biden actually won the 2020 election. JD Vance is affirming he would violate his oath to the Constitution were he placed in the same role as Mike Pence was in 2020. And he is convinced that seeing Hunter Biden's penis would have made Donald Trump president in 2020. Wacky, wacky stuff. One of our sponsors today is Zippix nicotine toothpicks. Zippix brings you a convenient alternative to smoking and vaping and the vape clouds, the ashtrays, the thing in your lip that people can see. I've seen that around. This is an easier and less messy way to curb the cravings, and you can use Zippix just about anywhere. Zippix is available in 6 flavors with 2 or 3 milligram strength. The nicotine and the flavor are long lasting, and Zippix has helped countless people kick the bad habits, and they are bad habits. Zippix toothpicks are FDA registered. Their customer service is second to none. It is one of the most cost-effective alternatives. Also, check out their B12 and caffeine toothpicks. See for yourself why so many people have switched to Zippix toothpicks. You can only get Zippix online. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com today. Save 10% with the code PACMAN10 at checkout. Just remember, you must be 21 or older to order. The link is down below.